There is a bag of grub killer at every hardware store in America right now, with a picture of a fat white larva on the front, and almost nobody reads how it actually works. That product does its job by soaking into the soil and getting absorbed up into the roots of your grass. The grass carries the poison. The grub eats the root, and the root is what kills it. Read that again. The way that product works is by putting an insecticide inside your lawn. What I'm going to show you does the opposite. It kills grubs from the inside out, and it never enters the plant at all. Because it isn't a chemical. It's a living organism that hunts them. It's called a beneficial nematode, and the one you want is Heterohabditis bacteriophora. You buy it as a powder or a sponge. You mix it into water, and you pour about a cup of that mix per gallon through a watering can. Applied correctly, it drops grub numbers between 60 and 90% in 1 to 2 weeks. It is harmless to grass, to earthworms, to your dog, and to your kids. There is no waiting period before anyone can walk on it. That's the answer. Now let me show you how to not waste your money on it, because there are 4 ways to get this wrong, and every one of them is common. First, before you buy anything, you need to find out whether you actually have grubs. Most people who think they have a grub problem do not, and they spend money treating a lawn that's simply dry. Here's the test, and this one genuinely is 1 cup. Mix 2 to 4 tablespoons of dish soap into a gallon of water. Pour the whole gallonly over 1 square foot of the worst-looking part of your lawn. Then stand there and watch for 10 minutes. The soap is a surfactant. It cuts the surface tension of the water, and it irritates anything living in that top few inches of soil. Anything down there will come up to get away from it. You'll see them crawl to the surface, white, C-shaped, about the size of the last joint of your thumb, with a brown head and 3 pairs of legs up near the front. Then you count. Clemson Extension puts it plainly. Healthy turf grass that isn't already stressed tolerates 5 to 7 grubs per square foot without showing any damage at all. Under 5, you have grubs, but you do not have a grub problem, and treating is money thrown away. 10 or more and you are looking at the reason your lawn is failing. Do this test in 3 or 4 different spots, because grubs cluster. One patch can be crawling while the rest of the yard is clean. When you're done, rinse the test areas with plain water so the soap doesn't sit on the blades. That's your yes or no. And if it's a no, stop here, because the problem is something else, and I have other videos on what. Now let me tell you what you're actually dealing with, because it explains why timing decides everything here. Those grubs are the larvae of beetles. Japanese beetle, June bug, European chafer, masked chafer, depending on where you live. The adults flew in early summer, laid eggs in your turf, and those eggs hatched in mid to late summer. Right now, in late summer, those larvae are young, they are small, and they are feeding in the top inch or 2 of soil, right up against your grass roots. That is exactly why your grass is failing in patches. They are eating the root system out from underneath, and the top looks fine, right up until it doesn't. The classic sign is turf that lifts. If you grab a handful of dying grass and it peels back like a loose piece of carpet with no roots holding it down, that is grubs and nothing else. Drought does not do that. Drought browns grass that stays firmly anchored. The other sign is animals. Skunks, raccoons, and crows tearing up your lawn at night are not attacking your grass. They're digging for a meal, and they are telling you the meal is down there. Here's why all of that matters. Small grubs near the surface are easy to kill. Big grubs deep in the soil are nearly impossible. In another 6 weeks, they'll be twice the size and heading down for winter, and your window closes. This is the time, not October and not spring. So, the nematodes. These are microscopic roundworms, about 1 millimeter long, that occur naturally in soil all over the world. You cannot see them without a lens. They are hunters, and grubs are what they hunt. The nematode locates a grub by following the carbon dioxide and the chemical trail it gives off while feeding. It enters through a natural body opening. Once inside, it releases a bacteria it carries with it, and that bacteria kills the grub within 24 to 72 hours. Then the nematodes reproduce inside the dead grub, and a new generation comes out looking for the next one. That last part matters. This is not a single knockdown. You are introducing a predator that keeps working for as long as there's something to eat and the soil stays hospitable. And here is the thing that ties back to the title. There is nothing systemic about this. Nothing is absorbed into your grass. The nematode has no relationship with the plant at all. It's hunting an animal that happens to live in your soil. Your grass roots are not involved, not treated, and not carrying anything. Grubs also cannot develop resistance to it. You cannot evolve your way out of being eaten. Chemical resistance in pest populations is a real and growing problem. This has no mechanism for it. Now the 4 ways people waste their money, starting with the one that ruins the most orders. Mistake 1. Buying the wrong species. There are several kinds of beneficial nematodes sold, and they hunt different things. The one that kills white grubs is Heterohabditis bacteriophora. You'll see it written on the package as HB, or spelled out. The other common one is Steinernema feltiae. It's a good product and it works, but it hunts near the surface, and it targets fungus gnats and different larvae. It is not your grub answer. Plenty of people buy a package labeled beneficial nematodes, apply it correctly, and get nothing, because they bought the wrong worm. Turn the package over and look for that name before you pay. If it doesn't say it, don't buy it. Mistake 2. Treating them like a chemical. These are live animals. They arrive alive and they can arrive dead if the box sat on a hot porch. Refrigerate them the moment they show up. Use them within about 2 weeks. Do not buy a package that's been sitting on a garden center shelf in August, unless it came out of a cooler. And do not apply them within about 2 weeks of any chemical insecticide or systemic fungicide. You will kill them on contact with the residue and wonder why nothing happened. I want to stop for one thing here, and then we get to the application, which is where most of the actual failures happen. Everything in this video I had to piece together from extension bulletins and a couple of expensive mistakes, because nobody publishes the version where the product fails and tells you why. I've put the whole year in one place at backyardverdict.com, week by week, including exactly when this window opens and closes in your part of the country. There's a code on screen if that's easier than typing. That's the only time I'll mention it. Mistake 3. Applying at the wrong time of day, in the wrong conditions. Ultraviolet light kills nematodes. Direct sunlight on bare soil will kill them in minutes. So you apply in the evening, after the sun is off the lawn, or on a genuinely overcast day. Not at noon, not on a bright afternoon because that's when you had time. Soil temperature needs to be between roughly 60 and 85 degrees, measured 2 inches down. Below 55, they go sluggish and stop hunting effectively. Above 90, it kills them. Push a soil thermometer in during the morning and check before you commit. And water the lawn before you apply. The soil needs to already be damp, because nematodes move by swimming through the film of water between soil particles. Dry soil is a wall they cannot cross. Mistake 4. And this is the one that wastes more packages than the other 3 combined. People apply them and then walk away. Water them in immediately after application, about a 1/4 inch. Then keep that soil moist for the next 7 to 14 days. Light watering, daily, enough that the top couple of inches never dries out. If you let it dry, they die, not weakened, dead, and you will see no result and conclude that nematodes are a scam, which is exactly what happens in half the negative reviews you'll read about them. So here's the application, start to finish. Water the lawn well the day before, or that morning. In the evening, mix the package into water according to the label. Use a watering can or a hose end sprayer with the screen removed, because a fine mesh screen will filter out your entire purchase. Standard dose for grubs is about 10 million infective juveniles per 1,000 square feet. That's usually one lawn-size package. Measure roughly a cup of the concentrated mix per gallon of carrier water and keep it agitated as you go, because they settle to the bottom of the can. Walk the yard and apply evenly, focusing heavier on the areas where your soap test came back worst. Then immediately water it in, about a quarter inch. Then, for the next 2 weeks, water lightly every day. Now let me be honest with you about what to expect, because this does not look like a chemical treatment. You will not see dead grubs on the surface. There is no dramatic result to photograph. What happens is quiet. The damage stops spreading, and the animals stop digging. Give it 7 to 14 days, and then repeat your soap flush test in the same spots. That number is your proof, and it's the only proof you're going to get. Realistic expectation is 60 to 90% reduction from a well-timed application. Penn State's turfgrass work has found excellent efficacy against white grubs when they're applied with adequate water and the soil moisture is maintained afterward. Those two conditions are the whole difference between success and failure, and a fair caveat because you'll find people online who say these don't work. Results genuinely do vary. University of Minnesota has documented mixed outcomes, with success in some cases and not in others, and the variables are species, soil conditions, and application method. This is biology, not chemistry. It is not a guarantee. It is a good bet applied properly and a waste of money applied carelessly. 2 more things people will tell you to use, and my honest verdict on both. Milky spore. This is a bacterial disease of grubs, and it is real. But it only affects Japanese beetle larvae specifically, not June bugs or chafers, and it takes 2 to 3 years to build up in the soil before it does much. If Japanese beetles are your confirmed problem, and you're playing a long game, it's a reasonable addition alongside nematodes. As a fix for this season, it will do nothing. And dish soap as a treatment. It flushes grubs to the surface. It does not reliably kill them. It's a diagnostic tool, and anybody selling it as a grub killer is repeating something they read without testing it. Also, at the concentration needed for the flush test, repeated use strips the waxy coating off your grass blades and does real damage. Use it once, to count, and then rinse it off. So here is the whole thing, in order. Tonight, mix 2 to 4 tablespoons of dish soap into a gallon of water and pour it over a square foot of your worst patch. Wait 10 minutes and count. Do it in 3 spots. Under 5 per square foot, you're done. Stop. Your problem is something else. Over 5, order Heterohabditis bacteriophora online this week. About $35 to $50 covers roughly 2,000 square feet. And the reason I say order rather than go buy is that shelf stock in a warm store is usually already dead. Put it in the refrigerator the day it arrives. Then pick an overcast evening. Water the lawn first. Mix, apply, water in a quarter inch, and then water lightly every single day for 2 weeks. That daily watering is not optional. It is the treatment. 2 weeks later, run the soap test again in the same spots and compare your count. That's your answer. Total cost is somewhere around $40 to $50 and about an hour of actual work spread over a couple of weeks. Compare that to a lawn service treatment and compare it to reseeding a lawn that grubs finished off over the winter. One last thing. When you run that soap test tonight, come back and put your number in the comments. Just the count and your state. I want to see it, and so will everybody else reading, because grub pressure varies enormously by region and year, and there is no good public picture of what this season actually looks like. If you counted 2, say 2. If you counted 20, definitely say 20. Somebody in your state is about to spend $50 guessing, and your number will tell them whether they need to.